Well, that didn't take long, did it now, everybody? Microsoft hasn't even released the Total Recall feature yet, and it has already been hacked. Not has it already been hacked, but somebody's already released an open source version of the code onto GitHub where anyone can download it. Guys, it's only 162 lines of code in Python. It's all you need to hack Microsoft Recall. Okay? So like hacking your PC just went from a, somewhat challenging and difficult task that required a lot of skill and talent and time to do, to now you just have to run a 150 or 162 lines of code in a Python script, and now you can hack someone's entire PC. Now you might be thinking that, since Microsoft hasn't actually released this feature yet, not even for Windows 11, like you can't buy a PC that can do recall, so like how can you even test this, nonetheless write code for it, nonetheless write a hack for this, program that Microsoft hasn't even technically released yet? Well, fear not, for GitHub has come in handy again, and there are emulators where you can emulate Microsoft Total Recall on a Windows 11 VRM machine, and that's how you can basically test these features without having to actually, have the hardware required for Total Recall. Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, even just emulating this level of spyware on my computer is a step way too far for me, in my opinion, and what I feel comfortable with having on my computer. But fear not, for we have a brave YouTuber out there called Mental Outlaw who has done it for us, and we will be reviewing his video of it. So if you like tech news, or you like just like the general nitty-gritty details of like, some crazy stuff that's going on with technology, definitely give him a follow. He has a lot of good information. But yeah, let's get into it.
It's not just Microsoft who can milk your data from a Copilot Plus PC. See, that's what I hear a lot of people saying when you talk about how these proprietary programs are mining their data. They say, oh, well, they've already got my data. Microsoft's known me for years. They've got me down to rights a million different ways. So whatever if they get some more of my information. But you know what? Recall can be abused by hackers as well to get your data. This simple little Python script here can extract and display the data from the recall feature in Windows 11. It's able to do this because all of those screenshots that recall takes are stored locally in an unencrypted SQL database nested within your app data directory.
So for those of you that don't speak programmer and don't know what he said just meant, let me explain to you how stupid that is. So an SQL database is essentially just a type of database that can be essentially read or accessed by basically any computer that exists in current day. So, I mean, for an example, an SQL database is the same as like a .txt file. Pretty much every PC possesses the ability to read these types of files and edit them. And not only that, it's stored in your program files directory. So if you just go on to my PC, this PC, users, your username, and then you make sure that you are viewing the hidden folders, you will find a nice folder called app data. And within that folder is where it stores all of the stuff that Total Recall takes screenshots of, and all the data that it basically mines from your computer while you're using it, and it stores it there where literally anyone can access it. And the only thing that you have to do to access this data is to go into the app data or go into your username folder on your PC and right click and go show hidden folders, and then boom, you can see it and access it. It's literally that easy.
There's also options within this script to search for specific terms like password, and you can search for it between specific dates. So if your Windows 11 PC were to get infected with malware, as they still do quite often, then the hacker that is controlling that malware doesn't necessarily need to roll their own remote access Trojan with custom modules to try and escalate privileges and steal data from you and monitor your behavior, all without setting off your anti-malware tool. All they need to do is have you be running the recall feature, and then they can run this Python script, or they can run something similar. It doesn't necessarily have to be this exact Python script. As you can see here, the code isn't even super duper complicated. So this can be implemented a whole bunch of different ways if you try to just create a signature for whatever this is doing. And the hackers will be able to steal your data right now in the present. They'll be able to continue stealing it in the future as long as they're on your machine. And thanks to Recall, now they can get any data in the past that it has remembered.
Well, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that correctly. Microsoft just made a workaround for hackers to get around Windows Defender or whatever anti-malware or antivirus software you are running on your PC. Because, like Mental Outlaw was explaining, traditionally, if you wanted to hack someone's PC to this level, you would have to have the technical coding knowledge and skill and time to be able to create these programs essentially on yourself, and then be smart enough to figure out how to execute these programs on someone's computer in the background without them even noticing, and without their anti-malware noticing as well. Like that's an extremely difficult task to do unless you are a complete expert in this field. But fear not, ladies and gentlemen, because Microsoft just lowered the bar for hackers from you having to be an expert to be able to achieve this level of data mining from people to now you can just be a noob, somebody who can literally just go onto GitHub, download a Python script, and then all you have to do from there is figure out how to get it on the other person's PC and then to run in the background instead of running in the foreground. And then you just have it, instead of displaying things on the screen, just, sending things back to your PC. So yeah. If you were planning on being a hacker, now is, well, not now, but very soon will be the golden age of hacking, because you won't have to be very good at hacking to do hacking anymore. You can just download scripts from GitHub and run them on other people's computers, and then la-di-da, now you're a hacker.
Once you run the Amperage kit, you'll be able to go into your settings under privacy and security and enable recall and the snapshot feature. And man, I gotta tell you, this stuff is really creepy. Like, I thought I was going to have to use this machine for a couple of days in order to generate like a good log of information to look through, but just in the couple of hours that I've had this machine set up and configured it, like I've installed a little bit of software, like some extra programs to basically go through the images and show you guys what's going on here. Yeah, it logged everything. Every search, everything of significance that I did within the operating system was logged. And this Python script makes it really, really easy to parse that information. So I'll go ahead and run it now. Python totalrecall.py. And it's just going to ask me if I want to proceed with the extraction. I'll say yes. And so it's extracted a summary of the information here in totalrecall.txt. So let's take a look at that first, and you guys will see what I mean by it logs absolutely everything that you do. So, yeah, like you can see, I think this is since I booted it up most recently. Like you can see all the images that were taken. You can see every time I open the command prompt, administrator command prompt, File Explorer, it's logging that. It logged the system. It even logs the commands that you're running in the command prompt. So it's like, for those of you lucky enough to have never used Windows, it's like your bash history, and it's your screenshots, and it's also your browser history, because it's logging, like when I went to download ifran view, it's logging text files, like me opening up the Total Recall file. Oh yeah, and then these are old ones that I had. I ran it a couple of times as a test. I mean, it's just crazy how much information is here. Like, this is the kind of thing that you would expect someone, like if a hacker was going to infect your computer with some malware, that they would write their own custom module, or maybe they would use something from Metasploit to log this kind of information. You can see where I went to eBay, and somewhere in here it's got, yeah, like it can show you where I logged in to a Microsoft account, or really this is me creating a new Microsoft account. Office 365. Like, at first I was doing stuff on purpose to see, like, okay, does it really log everything? And you can see it really does log absolutely everything. You can see where I downloaded Python, and yeah, and it even takes the screenshots, of course. So if we go into Image Store, and let me see, I think I have to associate all of these with ifran. Yeah, because it might complain about, the file extension, and then we just have to rename it. So yeah, it's true. It's really taking screenshots of everything that you do. Like, let's look at this one. It's a little bit bigger. Yeah, so this is when I ran a system info command. It's like every action of any significance that you run within any application, it's taking a screenshot of it. Yeah, so this is this is me looking up how to add the path to Python and Windows, because I forgot how to do that.
So yeah, I don't know if y'all were as creeped out by seeing that last clip as I was, but I was very thoroughly creeped out by that, because literally every single thing you do on that computer of significance is now got screenshots, and then not only that, there's actual text file, like written documentation of what you did and how you did it, basically. So every website you visit, every tab you open, every application you run, every single command you type, every document you save, pretty much every single thing you do on this PC is now stored in an SQL database that is not encrypted, that can simply be accessed by literally anyone. And, like, to put this into perspective, okay, guys, like, learning to read and write to SQL databases is like beginner level programmer type knowledge and stuff to do. Like, that's one of the first things you learn as a programmer is, like, these different like file extensions and how they're used, and how to read and write to them. Like, I'm not saying there's anything inherently insecure about SQL databases, but to store this type of information in an SQL database is extremely idiotic, because SQL databases are not known for being secure at all. They're known for being really good databases and storing lots of data. And then, because, if it isn't, creepy enough that there's a literal text file document with literally every single thing you did on that computer. There's also screenshots to go with it as well, just in case, the text file was not, a good enough description of what you were doing. You could also go and reference the pictures as well, just to confirm that that's actually what was going on that person's PC at that time. But this, everyone, is why I will never be upgrading to Windows 11, because the only reason I upgraded to Windows 10 was because I liked Windows 7. Windows 7 was one of my favorite versions of Windows. And the only reason I upgraded to Windows 10 was because I was told that Windows 10 would be the last Windows ever. Well, guess what? It was called Windows 10 because 10 years later, they were going to cut off security updates for it and try and boot everyone over to Windows 11, which is literally just spyware that can be hacked by 160 lines of code of a Python script that can be downloaded from GitHub, which is open source, so anyone can read it and download it. Like, guys, I'm going to be learning Linux. I highly recommend everyone else try and learn Linux as well, because, I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. if you're not going to learn Linux, at the bare minimum, learn how to turn off recall, because it is a literal privacy nightmare, and you very well could end up regretting turning it on one day when you come to find out that, oh no, somebody's hacked my computer and now they have access to literally everything I ever did on that computer. Like every single thing I clicked on, how long I stared at a page for. Like, I cannot think of a legitimate reason that anyone would need or want to store this type of data. The only reason I could see to allocate all this data into one location is obviously just for data mining purposes, which, can go one of two ways. Either Microsoft's mining your data or hackers are mining your data, or both. It's probably both. So stay safe, switch to Linux, and give Microsoft the middle finger. If you want to give Microsoft the middle finger, make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with as many people as you can that need to know that this is how insecure Windows 11, specifically the Windows 11 recall feature, is.